Hello creative people, welcome back to the channel. This is Everly Green, I am a Spanish illustrator, and today I will be showing you some basics that every artist should know to create beautiful and eye-catching color palettes in Procreate. Let's get down to it. Before we start creating our color palettes, we really need to understand some color theory basics. Color theory is essential to understand how colors interact with each other, and that is important because it will help us create visually appealing palettes. So we need to know 4 basic concepts: primary colors, secondary colors, analogous colors, and complementary colors. Primary colors are the fundamental colors from which all other colors are created. These colors cannot be made by mixing other colors, and they are red, yellow, and blue. Secondary colors are created by mixing 2 primary colors in equal amounts. They are orange, created by mixing yellow and red, green, created by mixing yellow and blue, and purple, created by mixing blue and red. Analogous colors are colors that sit next to each other on the color wheel. They create harmonious and soothing color schemes, for example, yellow and green, blue and purple, or red and orange. Complementary colors are colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. They are great for creating high contrast in your illustrations. For example, green and red are complementary colors as they sit opposite each other in the color wheel. Blue and orange are also complementary colors, and so are yellow and purple. Now you might be thinking, okay, but why is this information about primary, secondary, and analogous and complementary colors important? Well, because when creating color palettes, you want a set of colors that look both harmonious and contrasting. So let's see how we can create this in Procreate. To create a color palette in Procreate, simply tap the circle in the top right corner of your screen. This will open the color panel. Here you'll find your current color palette and various settings. To create a new palette, tap on Palettes and then tap on the plus symbol. You can easily create palettes from photos or existing images or files. You simply need to tap on the option that you prefer and tap on the file or photo that you want to use for your color palette, like so. As you can see, a new color palette has been created based on the picture that I have just selected. However, I find that this method often generates a large number of similar colors, which can be a bit overwhelming. I prefer to work with simpler palettes of 3 to 5 colors because it gives me more control over the final color scheme, and it allows me to eliminate unnecessary or redundant colors. And I truly believe that less is often more when it comes to color palettes that are visually appealing. So I'm going to focus on building palettes from scratch using color theory. I strongly recommend doing this because it will help you develop a deeper understanding of color relationships and create more intentional palettes. I'm going to use some of my most recent illustrations to help you understand how I create color palettes using both analogous and complementary colors. Here we've got an illustration that I've made for a Harry Potter challenge that I am joining this month. I started with the outfits in the film as my inspiration, and the predominant colors were pink and blue. So I'm going to build my palette around these 2 colors. The next color I decided to use is purple because it sits between pink and purple in the color wheel, so it creates an analogous relationship, bringing harmony to the color scheme and producing a nice and cohesive color combination. But even though these three colors look great together, I want to add a bit of contrast and visual interest by incorporating some complementary colors. So let's have a look at the color wheel again. The complementary color of blue is orange, the complementary color of pink is green, and the complementary color of purple is yellow. However, since green is often associated with dark magic and I want to maintain a light and magical feel, I'm only going to use yellow and orange because they are colors that transmit happiness and warmth. So this is the basic color palette that I've created, and from this I like to adjust the saturation and the brightness of the colors to fit the mood and the atmosphere of the illustration, so I can end up with a color palette that looks like this. Now let's try this out on a different illustration. As you can see, the color scheme for this is very different. This illustration is inspired by a sunny day in nature. And when I think of a sunny day, I immediately think of blue for the sky and yellow for the sun. So these would be the first two colors of my palette. Also, when I think of nature, I think of green as well, which is created by mixing blue and yellow, forming an analogous relation. This trio of blue, green and yellow creates a sense of harmony, which is perfect for a natural scene. Again, these three colors look beautiful together, but we need to add some contrast. Remember, we add contrast by using complementary colors. In this case, the complementary color of green is red, the complementary color of blue is orange, and the complementary color of yellow is purple. For this illustration, I've decided to go for red and orange as my two complementary colors, since it is supposed to be a nice, bright and sunny day, and purple reminds me a bit of the night. And now that we know the colors we want to use, it's just a matter of adjusting the saturation and vibrancy of the colors to see how they affect the overall mood and atmosphere of the illustration, so we can have a color palette like this one. Don't be afraid to experiment with different color combinations, because the more you experiment, the more you will be developing your own unique style. Remember that color is a powerful tool that helps us evoke emotions and tell a story, and by understanding the relationship between colors and how they interact, you can create a dynamic and visually appealing artwork. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more artsy videos. You can always follow my journey as an illustrator on Instagram at @everlygreenart, where I post all my illustrations, including the ones featured in this video. Have a lovely day and see you in the next video.